Good evening again, Great Debate League. Thanks for joining us for our post-debate analysis. We have our GDL Commissioners, myself, who moderated tonight, Ebony Johnson, alongside Professor AJ Lowe, Dr. Mutor Flood, and Dr. Bruce Strobel. And we have on the screen joining us our judge, one of our judges for tonight, Dr. Olufemi Onifade. I don't have my notes up again as I had in the match. I hope I
This is
got
why I said Dr. O.
Yeah. But thanks so much for joining us. Dr. O, I want you to go first because we don't want to. We want to respect your time. So tell us your impression of the debate tonight and your experience being a judge.
Oh, well, first of all, I'll start with my experience as a judge. It's definitely a lot different in the judge's seat than in the audience seat, because obviously we have the private chat and, there are all these other things that are kind of happening behind the scenes. As for the debate, as I was saying in the back room, I really thought Cameron was going to be in trouble with this topic. Just because, thinking about it in terms of a global context, clearly women overwhelmingly are oppressed, whereas the racial construct only exists in a certain hemisphere of this world. So, when you look at it globally, I felt like he was at an extreme disadvantage. But because the debate was narrowed to America and just the historical context that Cameron was speaking to, and also, his rebuttal to the idea that just because women are 51% of the population, that means that they have to be experiencing more oppression than these other groups. It doesn't jive with reality. The fact of the matter is there is hierarchy that includes white women having proximal power to white men and oppressing the rest of us. Therefore, their numbers kind of like zero out in terms of what they're experiencing from at the hands of males of other races and whatnot. So, I thought Cameron did an excellent job from fighting from the bottom. My sister Ikendayo, she was strong throughout, but I do feel like there were some issues around etiquette in the debate that made, that kind of detracted from the persuasiveness of her arguments. So I'll stop there because I feel like I'm dominating. All right.
No, you're good.
It's all good. It's a pleasure to hear from you. And again, thanks so much for participating as a judge. Dr. Flood, you had some comments that you wanted to share about your perspective on the topic and debate. Go ahead.
Yeah. I thought this would be a hard match, a hard debate for Ms. Ekundayo to win if we're talking about America, right? So we know that gender oppression has a much longer life than racial oppression, which is rather recent. But if we're talking about the founding of America and the Black experience in America and all other people besides white folks, or those that were added into whiteness in the Americas, then we can definitively that racism is much more, as far as a hierarchy, racism is much more dominant and has worse outcomes than gender oppression. I mean, I would have liked to have seen both of our debaters have some kind of statistics to back up their claims. It was a lot of theory, but not a lot of, practical evidence, where the practical evidence, if they just showed this could end this debate very quickly, where in my opinion, based off the evidence that I've seen, racism was far and ahead the oppression winner, quote unquote, in this kind of context.
All right, so we've just brought on the screen another one of tonight's judges, Amber Vaughan. Thanks for being with us in the post-debate, Amber, and the debate. Will you share with us briefly your experience as a judge and then your just overall and general perspective of the debate?
I thought it was really great. I thought that they both did a really great job. But for me, it went to the affirmative. I think that I think someone mentioned this previously, the introductions, the opening started off a little slow, but I think once we got into the debate itself, please pronounce her name for me. I believe that matters.
It does. I know. That's why.
Funmilayo
I
Ekwindeo.
but it's
Say that one more time.
her name is Funmilayo Ekwindeo.
Funmin Yayo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on that. I thought
I mean, Olufemi's Nigerian. He can say the name, but what's
It's
say the name?
Ikundayo.
She told me that it's Ekwindeo. Like that's how I remembered it. Ao. That's what she told me.
Or we could defer to what she says her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my score. I thought she dominated him in elocution. Hold on, wait a minute. I can't go back to my scorecard. Hold on, give me just 1 second. No, I can't. But I thought that she did really well as far as like elocution. As far as like a subject matter expertise, she did come off just a little bit more knowledgeable than what he was presenting, and she did seem to be more fact-based in the things that she was saying than he was. And I think that there were a lot of opportunities for him to just really go in for the kill because someone else said it that race was to me. I thought that race would be the factor, and I think that he had an opportunity to really get in there, but he didn't. So as far as persuasiveness, for me, everything seemed just really opinionated, and there was no facts to support his opinion. So to me, that affected his ability to persuade me because it just sounded like he was just stating his opinion. But yeah, so that's what I thought. But this was a really great experience. I learned some things, so this was awesome, and I really love this format.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Professional.
Appreciate it. Glad to have you as a part of it. Professor AJ, you want to talk about your perspective tonight, especially as a historian?
Personally, I think this was for me a draw. And the reason why I would say that is because they both presented good. It kind of got off a little slow with the introduction. I think we all agree on that. But once the cross-examination, the lightning round popped off, they seemed to be like it was an even exchange as far as I noticed from there on. So I would consider that a draw. Again, I would agree with Dr. Flood that I wish that they would have had a little bit more statistics. If they'd have had more statistics, that would have been a game changer. But that is my opinion. I think it's a draw.
I would agree. I would agree with AJ. I didn't come away in that debate thinking that anybody had kind of won. They just kind of stated their side based off their opinions and theories.
Right.
Not a lot of evidence to kind of undergird their position. So
I think that the evidence would have been able to shift the whole the debate period. So I would give this for me, and this is the first time I've done this. I would give it a draw.
All right, Bruce, can you bring up the individual scores from the judges, and then we'll announce who the winner is.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so we have our first card in. Dr. O with affirmative. He gave he gave our affirmative contestant 64, and Cameron got a 68.
All right,
then
so Cameron, one vote for Cameron.
Then we see Amber Vaughan, affirmative 53, negative 37.
Okay, one for Funmilayo.
And then from our third judge, the affirmative 61. Ooh, look how close that was, y'all.
Wow.
Yeah, 1 point away. 1 point away from a draw here, actually.
Wow. All right, so 2-1.
2-1.
Winner was Funmilayo Ekwindeo. You won the affirmative for tonight. Wow, Farajas. Wow.
Hey.
But wonderful. So there you have it. Again, thank you so much to both of our debaters. Bruce, do you have any? I know you were pulling together the cards. Do you have any commentary?
What a very professional debate. I do agree with Dr. Flood. I would have liked to see statistics presented, and I think that hurt. That might have been what hurt Cameron in the end, what kept him right there on the other side of winning this. Had he come more statistically prepared, I think he definitely could have got over the hump. His opponent also didn't use a lot of statistics in her approach, but she did have some clever theoretical arguments that I don't think Cameron was able to convince the two judges that were those didn't hold. So it kind of went to my opinion about your theories, and those theories are kind of more widely accepted. So, but Cameron did a great job. I don't want to take anything from him. I thought this was a tough debate to make, and I was happy that he did it in a way. He right away he said, "I don't want to take anything away from what women are experiencing," and he was very respectful. And even when I felt there were times where she tried to kind of trap him into maybe saying something that might be portrayed as misogynist or sexist, and he quickly sidestepped those. So I thought that was brilliant. I was hoping he could do that. So then she had to kind of rely on, well, here is the overall theory, and he couldn't get around some of those points. But he did a great job presenting this case. So I'm happy with both debaters tonight. I personally thought it was an even debate. So.
Yeah, I feel the same way as feeling as though, feeling as though it's a draw away. Cameron has a question for us, y'all. He said, so the Yoruba isn't factual.
No, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying Yoruba isn't factual.
So he's using African-centered theory, and he misnomered the person who popularized the term Yoruba. That's by Dr. Marimba Ani. All right, and he used a lot of Dr. Cambone's theories of African-centered psychology in his discussion. But I thought that was like, most people don't know this, but I do, and so it was like, you messed up the name. But I thought it was interesting. But Yurugu is factual. All right, it is factual that the European worldview is one in which anti-Africanist, anti-Blackness more or less would outweigh gender oppression for the most part. But I don't think we can say that theoretically. We just need more like statistics to back
exactly.
That up.
I think
say anything.
If either of them show clearly, okay, more people in this gender or this race experience this. She tried to do that with the 51%, and he countered that well, and then they were kind of at a stalemate from there. So it was just whose theory is going to be more acceptable from that point forward. So no. We're not saying anything you said isn't respected or isn't factual. It's just a matter of what swayed or what was the most persuasive.
Oh yeah.
So you did a great job.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Dr. Cambon, rest in peace. I respect all of his work for sure.
Yeah, he did good.
He did a great job. It's just what persuasive. I will say that it's the most persuasive argument.
That his opponents set some traps for him. I really thought we're going to go down like the R. Kelly and the Bill Cosby. I was like, here we go, and she laid him out there like bear traps. He tiptoed like a minefield.
All right.
She had some missteps too. Like when she started talking about, Hillary Rodham Clinton's run for the presidency, and it's like,
yes,
I'm like, oh, don't use that. Like, that's probably the worst.
Yeah, I agree.
First example to use. I remember I was talking with my students in class one day about this. We're talking about sexism, and I was like, you don't ever want to use Hillary because there's so much baggage that has nothing to do with her sex. I mean, you could make the argument about that it was about sex, but it wouldn't be very convincing.
I really felt that it was a draw. I will say, as the moderator, they were really respectful, especially in the lightning round and just given the process, it was easy to, an easy flow. But I do think that overall, when I think back about it, that I feel it was more of a draw than the flat out win. However, that being said, appreciate our judges' perspective as well, because sometimes us watching it and doing the behind the scenes that we're doing too, we're not, watching from the same perspective as a judge. So we appreciate that. Again, congratulations. Arguing the affirmative, Funmiliayo Equideo, you won 2-1 for tonight's debate, GDL 14. Any final comments before we?
Yeah, I want to say, Cam, you did a great job. I have been on both sides. I've won a debate now, and I lost a debate, so I know how it feels to be sitting there listening to listening to people talk about your performance, even though you thought you made. I challenge you to go back and watch it again and see where you could improve. That's what I had to do. So, yeah, we roll
Take
with
it back to the lab.
Yep, we roll with the judge's decision, and it'll make you a stronger debater. I promise you, bro. And to our winner, you did an excellent job, and this is your second time here with us, and you keep shining.
All right, appreciate that, Bruce. And Familiayo said, "Hey, so." And seriously, we do appreciate they both. Some of the, we've asked people to fill out our matchup form. If you're interested in debating, please know that we do provide an outline. And also we'll offer assistance because for many people, it is their first time debating. So you're more than welcome to fill that debate matchup form out. And I appreciate our debaters for tonight for having a written open and closing statement. They did. You can tell they did prepare for that. This is a formal structure. Okay. I want to put this up here. Fama Yayo said, Cameron is amazing. Thank you so much for being a wonderful opponent. So a lovely way.
Gracious winner. Everybody loves a gracious winner.
Yep.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. Again, thank you so much to our judges tonight. We appreciate you all. This was our first experience with this as well. And so thanks for helping making it richer. And to everybody watching, we do this with you. And we appreciate you for submitting your questions and watching and supporting us. And without anything else, have a great night, everybody. Take care. Be safe.